Good evening, nerds and vidiots. Tonight we are going to take a look at a game in the basement that's going to be leaving. Yep, we're going to be doing a farewell to a game. I haven't had it for a whole lot of time, but I didn't get a whole lot of play. Let's see if we can kind of guess what it is. So some of these things in the basement are new. Donkey Kong 3 isn't new, but Zaxxon is, and Tutankhamun is relatively new. So we're going to kind of take a quick spin around and see if we can figure out what game is going to be leaving. There are a couple things that I would put up for trade, but let's see if we can figure out what it might be. Any guesses yet? Well, if not, it's going to be the Make Trax Mini over here. It gets a play, but not a whole lot, and in the collector market, it's worth more than most of my games, so I figured this is going to be the game that's going to get pulled out. So it's going to be getting traded away, and we're going to have to wait and see what it gets traded for. It's in fair shape. It's not a home use only by any means, quite far from it, but we're going to pull it out. We're going to play a couple rounds on it, and I'm going to go through this entire cabinet to give you guys an overview of what it looks like before it's gone, and I never have it in my possession again. Until I make myself a reproduction one, of course, because you know we have that Robotron Mini over here that we've been working on, and it's getting closer, slowly. But we're going to take a look at this Make Trax Mini, and we're going to go through it as far as all the components and everything, just so that we have a documentation of what is in the Make Trax Mini. Yep. There it is in all its glory. It's wedged between the high-speed and the Sega Turbo cockpit. Yes, we will pull over Mr. High Speed. Okay, so that's what we're going to be doing next. So I'm going to go ahead and we're going to first start by playing a couple games. I've already put a credit or two in it. We'll play a game or two of Make Trax, and that way we know what it looks like. And then we're going to roll the game out of here so we can take a quick look. And there it goes, Sega Turbo. It's freaking out. Just need to replace the power supply on that. We're gonna go ahead and I'll kill it, let it go, or I'll kill it as in shut it off, and then we'll turn it back on. But let's go ahead and do that real quick, and then we'll play a round of Make Trax. Alright, so before we go too crazy, we're gonna play a round or two of Make Trax. It's a labyrinth style game where you are this broom cleaning up the mess of all the other things. You kind of have to paint the labyrinth a different color. So we're gonna go ahead and play a couple rounds. I shut the Sega Turbo off. Wait, no I didn't. I left it on. It's warming up the power supply, and we'll flick it back on here and there. But anyway, let's play a round of the Make Trax and see what it's like. The only controls that you've got are a joystick, which goes up, down, left, and right, and you have player 1 and player 2 on the control panel. So you are this little broom thing here, and you're going to go up and you're just going to start painting the entire area this neon green best you can. And your goal is to paint everything green and not get caught by those things. Once you get caught by those things, that's it. You've lost life. Kind of like Pac-Man, where you don't want to get eaten by the ghosts. Now you do have some form of attack using these little rollers here, so I can roll over everything and get some points that way, and they kind of go away for a hot second. And the AI in this is brutal, by the way. There's only 2 guys trying to chase you, but no holds bar. I'm caught. I'm stuck. Oh, and there's a cat there, so it's gonna put paw prints down, and you want to try and get as many of the paw prints as possible. So I can get the cat. No, I can't. Not if I go that way. Oh, I'm caught again. Try to zoom in a little bit while playing. That did not work out well. Yep, my name is going to be AAA. Here we go, let's do this again. Let's try to at least beat the first screen. So we're just continuously painting our labyrinth a different color. Come back and get them with the roller. Get some points that way. Get the cat. That was worth 1,000 points. That's good. I can hear her purring. Oh no, look out. They are brutal in following you. Oh no. Go, 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 go. And then we got the entire level. There we go. See if we can zoom out just a hair more. Then it changes to a different color and you're going to do the same thing over and over again. Oh. Woo! Here we go. Luckily the roller speeds you up a little bit. So you can kind of backtrack a little bit. Oh, you are tricky. There we go. Gotcha. So the joystick is a 4-way joystick with micro switches, not leaf switches. Whoa! Look out! Oh, they caught up to me. Oh, now there's a mouse. Get the mouse for 1,000 points. Oh! Yikes. A little bit quicker on this level compared to the last one. There we go. Get both of them. 800 points. There we go. Let's move while we can. Oh no. There we go. We got it. There we go. We cleared that level. Well, now we're painting the town red. Got one, got the other one. This is the idea of the game, just continuously painting the labyrinth. Kind of like it. I wouldn't say it's the best game I've got in my collection by any means. But what's that bird doing? Ooh, look out! That guy's gonna get me! That got me. I got one life left, I think. There we go. We're gonna continue to clean up all the tracks that the other animals have made. Get it, Make Trax. Oh no! Ah, game over. But there you go, that's the general idea of the game. We'll put our name in so we know that that tin guy actually earned some points. He pushed up to confirm the letter, and left or right to choose the letter. There we go. Alright, so 12,890. Probably one of my best games. I'm not great at this game, but it is what it is. People will try it and play it in my basement, but then nobody spends any sort of significant time on it. Even my son, who loves Ms. Pac-Man, doesn't spend a whole lot of time playing Make Trax. I think it's a little bit too hard for him. AI is brutal in here, but which makes it for a good game, you know. Anyway, I'm gonna stop filming the gameplay. We're gonna roll the cabinet out a little bit more and take a look at it. Take a look at the inside, the outside, and see what this game is all about. So here's the side of the Make Trax Mini. This is the left side as you're looking at it. The whole side of the cabinet is orange with the Make Trax stencil on the side, where it says Williams kind of going up towards the marquee. And if we take a look over here, it does have the little registered sticker, or what's left of it there. This is a stencil, and you can tell because you can see some of the overspray that's there on the original cabinet here. It does use a textured T-molding. This T-molding has been replaced, but was exactly what was on it before. I did not replace it with anything else prior to. Also on this cabinet, if we take a look down low, let's see if we can kind of get down here. Down near the X in the word Trax, you're going to have the trademark logo down there. Just kind of underneath, or just right about where it starts to curve on the X of Make Trax. And I'll get out my tape measure here in a second and measure it. Let me go grab that. So if you're going to measure the trademark sticker from the edge of the X in Make Trax, so we've got, let's see if I put the 1 on the X and the edge of the sticker. See, can you guys even see that? Let me zoom in a little bit. Let me get a little bit closer. So let's see, there's the 1. It's not quite half an inch. So it's about to the edge of the T, about 3/8 of an inch. So to that edge of the T, the left edge of the T to the edge of the X is about 3/8 of an inch. And then we take a quick look up over here at the registered mark. If you're doing a stencil, you're gonna have the yellow circle, but for posterity's sake, it is approximately, let's see here, oh no, about 5/8 inch of away. Maybe, yeah, not quite 5/8 as you guys see it, a little bit less. That's approximately its location. The sticker would go right over that little yellow circle there. Now if we take a quick look on the other side, see, we've got the Williams logo. Now Williams is kind of writing down and away from the top of the marquee. And there's the X in Trax of Make Trax, and the trademark logo is still down there next to the X. If I hold my tape measure up there, this one's a little bit lower, so they did not necessarily place this very precisely. It's just on there to be on there. Because before it was closer to this edge of the X, but it was also facing a different direction. But from the edge of the X, let's see if we can measure it real quick. It is approximately to the edge of the T, about 5/8 of an inch away again, but it also a little bit lower. Let's back up so you guys can see it. A little bit lower on this X. Again, they were just placing these on as quickly as possible. So don't go crazy if you're doing a restore on the precise location, because it's going to vary from cabinet to cabinet. But let's just back up and take a look at this side real quick. There it says Williams. And then we go down, the whole side is orange, or orange. Let's take a look at the front of this cabinet. here we've got the front of the cabinet. You've got the control panel, 2 coin doors. This coin door here is the Laura Williams coin door, which is the exact same one used on games like Robotron and not Defender because they were a different cabinet. But other Williams games that had the Laura coin door, they used the same exact one. And there's a little recess down there. Now this part down here is not original. This little rubber piece down here is like a baseboard. It's like what they use in bathrooms and stuff. I put that on there because it was all chewed up and it just cleans it up a little bit. I only used silicone to put it on, so that way if it gets removed, it will clean up very easily. That's the idea behind it. Let's see here. So we can open this. Let's open this lower coin door real quick. Pull. Pull. Pull harder. There we go. There is a coin door in here, or not a coin door, a coin bucket. This is what the coin bucket looks like. Okay. I don't know if this is necessary to this game, but it fits in here. And this is what the inside here in the dark looks like. Not much you can see. There are some wooden pieces here on either side, little blocking. Let me turn the flashlight on real quick and you guys can see that. There we go, there's the inside. We've got some wood blocking on the inside just to hold the coin bucket in location. But otherwise it is not necessary if you're doing a reproduction. But it's there and it's just held in with staples. They didn't do much otherwise to hold it in. You guys can kind of see the staples going into the top. There you go. And the inside is actually painted black. Alright, next up we're going to do the coin door here. So here is the coin door on the inside. They did use a, I'm assuming that's the original lock. It's not a traditional lock. And the same thing that was used down low. I know I've tried to put like a modern lock in, and it's a little tight, whereas that lock actually fits. I don't know if the dimensions are slightly off, but there you go. There are also these chutes here. These, you know, metal, not metal, they're like plastic pipes. Let me measure those for you guys real quick. So let's see here. We've got a diameter. The outer diameter is 1 7/8. Our inside diameter, is gonna probably be 1 5/8 is my guess. Let me see here if I can get this tape measure lined up. But anyway, the key thing you want to worry about is the outer diameter, so that those match. And we've got a 1 7/8 outer diameter. Okay. And the height of these tubes, can't quite get that there, okay, is just over, no, it's exactly 3 1/4 inches. Let's see, can I move my thumb so you guys can actually see? 3 1/4 inches. Let me back up. 3, my gosh. Tim, have you filmed anything ever? Okay, 3 1/4 inch is the height of these tubes. And they did use a dark gray for those tubes, just so if you're trying to match. And it is beveled on the inside here. This is a piece that goes to the main board in the back that's just kind of resting there at the moment because I didn't need it, so I just put it there. So that's not supposed to be there. Anyway, let's go ahead and we're going to flip open the control panel now. So just for posterity's sake, the coin meter is currently reading 29,743. Did not make much money in its lifetime. So this game made just over $7,400 in its lifetime, which is not much. But anyway, let's take a quick look at the control panel here. Okay, this has no bolts going through the outside of it. And it does have a textured T-molding here on the front. And there's a hinge down here with 3 bolts going across. And as far as where the bolt locations are, the first bolt is about 1.5 inches centered from the edge, and this bolt is centered, and the other one is also 1.5 inches. So from center to the edge is about 1.5 inches. If you need to put those bolts in. If you're doing a reproduction one, you may not use that hinge, but that hinge is there. It's a piano hinge. It's a black piano hinge, and it ends up tilting the entire joystick down, joystick control panel down. And let's go ahead and take a look and see what's underneath here. So as far as what we have under here, here's the joystick. Now this joystick's unique. It's not one I'm very familiar with, so we're going to take a look at it. It does have a set of springs here. It's a 4-way joystick. So we've got the springs here which center the joystick. And they are, as you can see here, they hold on to the outside with the 4 micro switches there on the inside, helping kind of control it. Or, well, not helping, it's what it does. So if we move our joystick, I'm going to move it up, down, left, and right. You can see how it moves everything. Okay, and this plate here is the plate that actually controls it, saying that, hey, you know what, this is a 4-way joystick, not an 8-way joystick. Let me shine a light on that. So here we go. So this is what that joystick looks like moving, just so you guys can see it. Up, down, so up, down, left, right. So how it looks. Neat little joystick, especially with the springs and how it centers itself. You can easily see, like, if a spring starts to get worn, it's going to pull it in one direction more than the other. This spring doesn't look as worn as some of the other ones, so I feel like it's a little bit centered that way, but it's not registering anything, so we're okay. We also then have 2 leaf switches over here for the player 1 and player 2 select, and they are recessed into the control panel a little bit, and they're using a translucent green as a palette. So if you make this control panel, you just need to know that you have a little bit of a recess here. Oh, probably 1/8 of an inch maybe. And you can kind of also see back here how the hinge attaches to the control panel. Okay, that's how the hinge attaches to the control panel. Your latches for the control panel, there's one on the left and one on the right, and you have your ground strip here. Your grounding strap is right here, and there are going to the control panel, to the hinge, to the other side of the hinge, and all over the place. Okay, so that's that. As far as how the monitor bezel slides in, let me see if I can zoom out here for you. You're gonna see the bottom of it now. I'm not sure if there's supposed to be a bracket here or not. There is a little beveled edge here. Okay, and that's where if the monitor slides down the way, it rests against this. Okay, it will not go any further than this. And there are plastic monitor bezel supports on either side that hold in the monitor plexi as a retainer. That's how those. I have not seen these reproduced anywhere, so I'm not quite sure where you could get that. As far as how the speaker grill is mounted, let me lower the camera real quick and I'll show you that. So now we're looking at the speaker grill real quick. So as far as how this is mounted, it's painted black, and you've got our speaker grill slots here in the back. You can see you've got 1, 2, 3, and 4 screws, one over here kind of off camera, to hold the bottom of the marquee retainer in place, and there are 1, 2, 3 screws to hold this speaker grill in place. Just 3, if you include this one here for the monitor. I mean, not sorry, the monitor, the marquee plexi. The marquee retainer. You guys know what I mean. And as far as any sort of other stickers and stuff, we do have a instructions here glued on the side. This one's toast, but that's where it would go. And the inside is all painted black. There is a little small gap here in the back where this wood for the speaker meets this back panel, but otherwise it's not very bad. Just a little thin gap, something that you're never going to see unless you're shining light and feeling around for it. But there you go. That's the front of the cab. I'm going to go ahead and pull off the marquee real quick so you guys can see on the inside of that. There are 4 screws holding this top retainer on for the marquee. Mine only has 3, so we're only going to have to undo 3. So there's that. Pull this off. Okay. And then we can go ahead and remove our marquee. And it does not use a traditional fluorescent light. It actually is using incandescent bulbs there. There are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 bulbs there that are lighting the marquee. So if yours is dim, just check. You maybe have 1 or 2 out. But that's typically how it is lit. Let me go ahead and see if we can get a closer look inside. So if we take a look inside, you can see there's a speaker back there, and we've got, let's see, there's a speaker back there, and you can see all of our light bulbs. And that's all that's in there. If you look down, way down the back, you can see there's a little hole down there where all the wires are fed through, and some blocking to kind of hold everything together. And that's the gist of that. This retainer here does have a little channel in it for the marquee to sit in, but it's not required, so if you have to make your own, don't worry about making a channel. You can just use some sort of L bracket to hold that marquee in place. We're gonna go ahead and put that back on now. So here we've got the back of the cabinet. It's nothing exciting, but just in case you're wondering, the power switch is located down here at the bottom where that broken piece of wood is. Yep, I know. Up is on, down is off. And there is a warning sticker here on the door with some metal grates in here and a piano hinge going down the side. Okay. Now, you can put any size piano hinge on there if you're doing a repo, but let's go ahead and we'll measure that piano hinge real quick. It does go within, not the whole length, but it goes a decent length. So let me set this tape measure up. See if I can get it long enough. And do this with one hand. Let's see, I've got it set to 4 feet. So let's see here. So we go down from the bottom there to the top. It ends up being 37 5/8 inches long. Let's see if I can get it just again. Oh, there's the bottom of the door. So probably 36 inches. No, 37. Ends up being about 37 inches long. Is how long that piano hinge is, with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 carriage bolts spaced evenly throughout it. It is mounted to the outside of the door. There is another lock here on that back door, and that back door lock is just about 2 feet on center. Just to kind of give you an idea of where everything is. If you're ever, putting yours back together or anything like that. There is a little serial number plate here in the corner. This one ended up being serial number 1244, made in the USA. And you can see that this has had some other holes in it at one point in time, but that's kind of where everything lines up. Let's go ahead and open up the back door here. Mine just had a screw in it holding it open, but yeah, it gives you the idea here. Let's See if we can get that to sit like that. So, we've got our back door here. It has the board on the door. Okay. It also has another metal plate here. Right there. Not quite sure what that metal plate does other than just kind of block things directly. We've got our wires that go into the back panel here with a little hole here. And let's see, let's measure how big that hole is real quick. That hole ends up being just about a 1-inch in diameter hole. Okay. Now, as far as how the monitor in here mounts and the plexi mounts, there are some slots here on the side in the cabinet. They don't go all the way through, but that's because there's a retainer here where the plexi mounts. Okay. And here is the wiring for the speaker and the lights. And the plexi just slides in and out here, just like that. See that? That's nice and easy. And the thing I really, really, really love about this cabinet is how easy it is to remove the monitor on this. So to remove a monitor on any of these Williams Minis, it's genius, really. Okay, you're going to need to make sure that this cable here is disconnected, just so it's out of your way. Okay, and then all you got to do is pull the whole monitor out towards you. And on the monitor, let's see, I'm not going to pull it out all the way, but this is a Wells Gardner here. You have your plastic monitor shroud here, okay? And that goes around the entire thing. I have not seen reproductions of these anywhere, but they're out there, and it sits off the wood about, let's take a guess, 1.5 inches, not quite 2 inches, 1 3/4. So it sits off about 1 3/4 inches. That's how far offset that sits, and that means the monitor is kind of sitting maybe 1 inch out from the actual wood. So it all depends on the monitor you have if you're going to put a new monitor in. This is a Wells Gardner 4700, which I think is the 13-inch version. So the 4600 is what it is. It's the one with the daughter cards. We're going to slide this back in. Zoop. Okay, there we go. And let's go ahead and we're going to lower this camera real quick so we can see some more stuff. So let's start down at the bottom of the cabinet. We've got the power brick right here, as well as a service outlet and a fuse. Over here is our power supply for the game board. Now you can switch these over to a switching power supply. I recommend doing it. You can get rebuild kits for these, and when you do the rebuild kit for this, you can do the potentiometer here so that you can actually adjust the 5 volts. I think Arcade Parts and Repair sells it, if I remember correctly. That's who sells it. And let's see what else is down here. We get real close. We've got our fuses. A lot of fuses are actually on the power supply itself. Let's see if we can take a look at that. Sorry, there we go. So here's the power supply. Up here is the fuse. Not the fuse, the potentiometer. We've got our serial number there. Yep, I did that in 2017. And here are our fuses down there. The LED light is my little LED shop light. It's making an interesting effect here on the camera, so I apologize for that. But there's the power supply. You're also going to want to probably check your connections down here. What ends up happening is these connectors, they go, so you're going to want to check those and check these connectors here. Check this connector here. Sometimes they go and you might need to replace them or kind of bend pins. That's the power section of this. And here is the fuse list. I don't think this ended up being entirely correct, but it was close. And then here is the monitor. Zoom out. This is the 4600. It's a 13-inch. Is what was originally in here, and that's kind of how it mounted in there. I'm not going to go too crazy with the monitor because your monitor may be different. But this is the one with the daughter cards in there. So remember, just kind of check your daughter cards if they're not working right. The 4600 and the 4700 are kind of interchangeable there as far as cap kits and daughter boards go. Let's see, what else is next? Let's take a look over here at the board. So here is the Make Trax board mounted on the door, and there's not much to it. There is that other piece of wood that I had listed, or not listed, laying over there that would mount here to keep the board in place. I just kind of left it out in case I needed to swap the board in and out. Your edge connector is down here. Another thing that tends to go on these is the edge connector. You can replace that edge connector and repin it, and you'll be in much better shape. This board, I think this mod here is actually a factory mod that they did with the jumper wires going all over the place. To adjust the volume on the Make Trax, I'm going to come over here and take a look at this potentiometer right there. Now, sometimes you do get a buzz on these. I found that spraying it with deoxit helped, and checking your voltage helped. And if you need to possibly replace the pot, that could do it. Your dip switches settings are here. And let's see, we've got only, what, 6 ROM sets there that we really need to worry about for Make Trax. Some of the stuff is socketed there, but that's essentially the Make Trax board. Not a whole lot to it. It's not a traditional Williams board, I guess. So, but it does have a lot of Williams stickers on it, so therefore it's close enough, right? Right? But there you go. That's kind of it as far as the Make Trax Cabaret goes, and what's in it and what's not in it, and this, that, and the other thing. It does have one more interlock switch over here on the door, which is typical of almost every arcade game, where you can pull it out or push it in. When it's pushed in, that's the default. So if you open the back door and the game doesn't turn on, you're going to want to pull this switch out. Okay, if you push it in, you may find that it actually works, but that's because you're pushing that switch in, and it's like a little safety switch there. And there you go. That is the Make Trax Cabaret, at least the inside and back of the Make Trax Cabaret. They're just kind of trying to document everything I can before this game is gone, because I know there will come a time where I'm going to go, what did I need to do here? What was this again? So I'm just kind of taking the time to film it for my own personal reference. Okay? Just so you guys know, also on the wood here, which is awesome for mounting monitors, it uses some T-nuts here. Okay, there's 4 T-nuts that are in the wood, and just some screws are the only things holding that monitor in place. The other things are for the little monitor bezel there that goes around the outside. One other thing. You know what? When I had this game, I had a weird voltage issue, and that is because this wire here has some jumper wires on it, and those are the jumper wires you need to possibly move for either, 110, 120 volts in the US or 220 elsewhere. So you want to make sure that your jumper wires are set correctly if you're having any issues. Like I was having an issue where the voltage to the monitor was cut in half. It took me forever to figure out why. But that would be why, which meant my image on my monitor was literally half the size. It's kind of silly, but there you go. And that about wraps it up. We'll go take a look at the front again and kind of call an end to the farewell tour of the Make Trax Cabaret. So we're going to say goodbye to the Make Trax Cabaret. It was fun having you. We didn't play you a whole lot, but it was nice having you, and you served your purpose well, which was trade bait. Sorry, buddy. but that's how it is in the game of arcade collecting. But I do want to document you because you inspired me to build the Robotron Mini, which was your cousin or brother, and that's over there in the corner. While it is a reproduction, you served a lot of help making my own reproduction. I was able to compare measurements and everything with you because Make Trax, you were the original. So I want to thank you for that. You've got some very neat features on this. With the fact that there's no hardware showing on the top of this control panel makes you very nice and sleek. Not many control panels did that, which it taught me a lot as far as how control panels are built. The monitor bezel here on this Make Trax is slightly tinted with the footprints printed on the reverse, so they are kind of hard to see, and that's just kind of how it was. They put a little sticker here on the side for instructions, which did not last very long, but there it is. I know I've seen images of that elsewhere on the internet, but you're a neat little cabaret there, Make Trax. Maybe not the most desirable of minis, but you are a Williams mini, which makes you a little bit more desirable than some of the others. But there you go. So there is the Make Trax Cabaret, and we want to say thank you to the Make Trax before it heads off into another collector's dream. Alright guys, thanks a lot, and as always, if you have any questions, please feel free. Maybe we'll continue this video, or maybe we'll end it here. I'm not quite sure yet, but either there'll be an interlude or an intermission, or we will end it and continue with the part 2 of what we left with. But there it is, and thank you very much.